Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I designed some more Senior 2025 cutouts. Now, I usually make these so I can go back the next year and change them, like I'll be able to go and change them to 2026 and 2027, but I'm always making new ones too, so I don't use all of these. I just like to have a variety and, have options. So I'm scrolling through my fonts right now and trying to find one that I really like. And I'm doing the 20 and the 25 separately because I'm going to make the 25 bigger. So I just love designing different ones and, just having options. There's some that I probably don't even use, but they're there. It's just fun to design them and, pick what I like and what I don't like. Some of them I end up not liking, and then others I really, really like. But I don't want to do like the same senior cutouts on all the moms, so I like to have a variety. And I'm just going to do some different things with it. I am going to weld those together because I want them to cut out together. You see where they're connected, like the 2 and the 0 is connected, and then the big 2 is connected to the 0. I think the 5 is separate, and that's okay. They don't all have to cut out together, but I like some of them to at least. It's so much easier to attach them. But if it looks bad, then, don't have them touch. But I am kind of adjusting it a little bit because I wasn't completely happy with that. So I'm just playing around with it until I get it where I want it. So you weld it together. If you don't like it, then just backspace or, go back, or I think you can unweld it. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I just always click the back button because it's going to undo it. And just see till I like it. Kind of angling the 20. Look cute. Now I am going to open up Canva and I'm going to show you some freebie options on some graduation caps. So if you're not familiar with Canva, this is how you use Canva and search. And I'm going to go to graphics. Now you see the ones with the little crown. I think that's a little crown. Those are pro, so those aren't free. I hate that they don't just show you the free ones, but they're trying to get you to, to buy it, of course. So it's understandable. But you have to scroll through there and look for the ones that don't have that. And so I'm just going to show you the different ones, and then I'm going to pick one that I really, really like. All right, find a few more. Like I said, you can't use the ones with the crown because those are pro, and we are working off the freebie one. I have one also from Creative Fabrica that I purchased, and it's got like 3 different ones, and it's got and I showed that on, I think it's the Homecoming Mom Beehive channel, the Crafty Bugs Homecoming Mom Beehive. So last week that I did a Senior 2025 showing some that I designed, and I showed it which one it was on Creative Fabrica, and I think I put it in the description too, the link for it. But it had like, I had a plain one, and then it had one, that you could do like a monogram. And anyway, it was neat, but I want to show some different options and definitely some freebie ones. See how thin that tassel is? That can cause you problems cutting out on, trying to do a cutout, especially on glitter cardstock. Now you can offset them just a tiny bit and make it a little bit thicker. So if you want to bypass that, but I always look at the tassels because I'm like, is that tassel going to be just too much to cut out? Scroll through and see if I find any more. You can see they have tons if you have pro. And they have some silhouettes there of graduates. So there's lots of graduation freebies that you can use on there. I decided to use that one, and I like the tassel too. I don't like the ones that have like a super long tassel. It really depends on what I'm needing it for. So I'm thinking about that. Now I don't like the little white outline. There's a thin black outline at the very edge there. I don't like that because that would be really difficult to cut out, but I know I can upload this to Design Space and just make it a solid grad cap, so I won't have to worry about that. Now, if you were doing it on Glitter HTV, you could do that because you could easily beat that out. But with glitter cardstock, no, you can't do those little thin outlines like that. It will not work. It'll just mess up. Okay, so just upload the image. You can see they're trying to get you to get Cricut access. Oh, if you do access, you can do all this other stuff. Like, stop it. I don't know what I was doing. Oh, it was a little wavy. So I thought, well, maybe I'll save it a little bit better. Was it PDF or PNG? I can't hardly see that. Anyway, I was thinking, well, maybe if I save it as a better quality, maybe it will look better, but it ended up looking exactly the same. Can you see that? It looks a little wavy. Sometimes when you upload images on Cricut Design Space, they're not super clear like you want them to be. So you can see the white background. You need to remove that. So if you just click on that, and then if you wanted to keep that white part inside the grad cap, you would have to select on that as well. And you can go up to preview single layer and click that, and it'll show you what it would look like. Now see, single layer, that's what I want. That middle one that says single layer for cutting out, that's what I want it to be. I don't want the one with the white in it. All right, I'm having issues. My voiceovering, every time I click for the microphone, it's like going on and off. So I hope I don't miss anything. So you just upload it. And of course, it always uploads humongous. I don't know if there's a way to stop it from doing that, but that's my quick way to make it smaller. And I forgot what I was doing here. I may be pulling up that other one that I purchased. No, the other one. Okay, I don't remember what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm showing you the white line, showing you the one with the white line. You do have to make it bigger so you can get in there, and you just click on that, click in that white spot, and it'll show that. Now click up there on preview to make sure that the image is going to look like you want it to, and you can see all the little edging there. I forgot that I did this, but you can upload that. Again, go up to sizing and change that. Now see how thin that is? That would not work on glitter cardstock. I'm going to move that grad cap around until I get it where I like it on that 20. And I know I want it on the 20 because the 20 is smaller and I think it'll look better. But you can go into contour and you can make changes and see if you can, like something a little different. Now it's solid just like the other one. So you can do either way, uploading the images like that. You can wait in contour to take anything out. I think that one looked a little clearer or something. I can't remember why I saved that one and not the other one. But once you get that grad cap where you want it, just weld it together so it's welded onto the 20 unless you don't like it. Oh, I wanted to duplicate some of those so I could make some more designs. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to upload all that again. Let me duplicate the 2025 and the grad cap so I can do some different things because I wanted to try some different designs, not just one design. Now we'll do some offsets and see what we like. You can do one offset, two offsets. So it's 3 layers, or I mean, you can do even more than that. If it was going on the flower, I would definitely do more. I would try to do 3 or 4 if it's going on a big mum, but if it's going on a small mini, you can do 2 layers. I always like the bottom layer to be solid though, just make sure it's a solid piece. Otherwise, your petals from your flowers are going to go through those holes, and I hate that. That was some mistakes I made early on. So I prefer a solid piece on the back side. That way, no flower petals going in between your design and taking away from your design. Or seeing through them, if you see through the design, it just takes away from it. If it's on your flower, like you can do that on your braids, like if you do 2025 and you outline it, offset it really thin, that's okay. If you can see the spaces in between, like a braid, if it's on a braid, that looks fine. That actually looks, sometimes that looks really good. But on the flowers, no, I don't like that. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't. All right, I'm going to save that. It's always smart to keep saving your projects as you're working on it. That way, if something happens, because I've lost designs before because it started messing up, or just whatever, electricity went out, whatever. So I try to remember to save my designs as I'm working on them. I'm just trying some different things. Decided to do a senior going down next to the 25. So I'm going to really have to adjust the shape of the senior, make it longer, make it shorter. Shorter width-wise, from S to R, but longer. Stretch the letters out. I'm just going to scroll through again the fonts and find one that I really like. I think a prettier font would look better. Try this one, but again, see, I don't like having individual letters like that. That makes it so much harder to attach because you've got to attach those letters individually on top of the offset, and you have to do it perfectly, and it's something that's not always easy for me. Like I found that if I do like the S and then the R and then go back and forth and then work my way to the middle, that works out the best, but still sometimes I'll have some that are closer together and some that are further apart. So I prefer to have some of my letters touching. The whole word doesn't have to be touching, but if some of them touch, like if your first couple of letters touch and like 3 or 4 of another one, or just off and on, and there may be like one letter that's not touching any, but it makes it easier to put it on the offset. I thought I wanted this font, but I changed my mind. I play around with it, but I just didn't like it. But you're just watching how this is my process, how I do this when I'm designing something, trying to come up with something new. This is my process. Keep playing around until I find something I like. Now you may see something you like, go ahead and make that. I'm showing you the fonts that I'm using. All my fonts that are purchased are all from Creative Fabrica. There's a link in the description. Go buy up those fonts. You can buy, I do a yearly thing. I think you can do a monthly thing too, so you don't have to worry about buying individual stuff. You can do it like that. Buy as many things as you want. And it'll tell you if you have commercial use of stuff and designs and fonts and stuff, so you can sell your designs. I hate when I do that. I was trying to grab that senior. I'm going to move that more out of my way because I'm done with that one. And I really like that one. I hope I remember to use that one because I really liked it. I know it's not anything spectacular. It's 2025 with Cricut, but I really like it. I like the way it turned out. I think it'll look good on a flower. I think it'll look good on a braid. Probably, more on braids, but even like a minimum, it's not too overwhelming. I really need to make some of those up in like gold and silver, gold and white and silver and white, and put them on Etsy in different sizes. that's another thing that I need to do. We'll see if I get it done. Now, when you're using fonts like that are really thin, that have really thin lines, I like to offset them a little bit like I just showed. Make them a little bit thicker. Thank you, TJ, for that tip, because then it makes it easier to cut it out on glitter cardstock. Now, again, if you're using HTV, you can weed that out and not have that issue. You can use them really thin like that. Or you can make them a little bit thicker just because you like it thicker. But don't try to cut them out that thin on glitter cardstock. I mean, sometimes you can get it to work, but you're going to be, more than likely, you're going to be frustrated over anything else. So just be aware of that. I'm turning it that way so I can really see the senior. I can't even remember if that was the senior I ended up keeping. I just wanted a pretty senior on there. So this one's a little bit bigger. This one definitely I'm thinking of like a braid, not going on a braid. And actually, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking one stacked, with 20 on top, 25, and then senior like underneath. Maybe even the gride cap on top of the 20 still. That would be cute too. I didn't think of that while I was doing this, but just kind of changes the shape of it. The direction. I mean, I liked it, but that's another idea to change it up. Like I said, I don't like using the same ones over and over again. Seems like in the last few years I've done several senior years every season, and so I want them all to have something a little different. I like that. See, isn't that cute? And I think that, you could put that on a flower too. Just thinking of the width of it, probably look best on a braid, but there again, you can do it on a mum head as well. And it is storming here again. It's like the third or fourth night of storms, and so far the electricity hasn't gone out, but it has every other evening. So I'm afraid that my premieres this week, that we're going to end up with storms and no electricity. If that's the case, I won't be on the premiere. So if y'all don't see me, that's why. Just know that I appreciate y'all being here, and I appreciate y'all chatting and then commenting when the video is over. Go down in those comment section and just leave me some emojis or something. I really appreciate it. Okay, one last design for tonight, and this one's going to be vertical, like I was talking about doing with the 2025 senior. This one's kind of similar to what I was talking about. It's going to be a little bit different in that, but ended up being my favorite. I almost forgot about it. I just skimmed through to see what I had filmed, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. So again, pull up a font and start searching until you find one you like. And I'm just going to, again, pick one that I like. That over there, because I want to work on the 25 first. I actually ended up not using the 20, but I didn't know when I first started. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So I'm pushing them, pushing the letters closer together so they touch. We'll see what they look like if they touch. And then I thought about making them thicker. So I played around with the offsets, making it a little bit thicker. They still weren't touching, so it's kind of a, how close do I get them? How much of an offset before they actually touch a little bit? They don't have to be touching, but I just wanted to try it and see how they looked. And also see how it looked with the thicker 2025. I mean 25, not 2025. You know what I mean. Almost touching. So I just play around with those offsets. Just keep adjusting it a little bit. I always keep the originals because if you offset the word or numbers or whatever, and then save the offset, sometimes it won't show you what font you used on it. So I like to save the original one and make it really small, and then you can click the eye over on the right next to it. When it's highlighted green, you can click the eye and then it'll take it off. It'll save it, it'll still be on there, but you can't see it, so it won't try to cut it out. But it's just much easier for me to do that and click on that, and I know what font I used. Okay, so I want to do senior above the 25. So again, search through the fonts until I find one that I like best, and then I'll have to size it over the 25 to fit better. You can see these are just my bookmarked fonts. I've got a lot of fonts, so it can be time consuming designing cutouts, especially for somebody's name, because there may be one that I really like for somebody's name on, if it's Stephanie, and then the next one is Ella, and I'll hate that font for Ella. So I always like to go through and do this with the names until I find one that really pops to me, that just stands out to me. And if somebody orders name cutouts on my Etsy shop, I will usually do 3 or 4 different ones with their name, 3 or 4 different fonts. I'll screenshot it to them and let them pick, and I'll even have them all offset so you can kind of see what the end result's going to be. Say this is a screenshot from my design, app. Do you have one that you like the best? They usually do, and then that's the one I cut out. It's a little extra step, but our electricity just went out. I knew it would go out. So they get to be a little bit more involved. They get to pick their favorite, and usually they're really happy with that. I would rather do that and then them not be happy with the font that was chosen. Maybe they don't want a really curly font, or maybe they don't want one that's too simple. So I like to give them options, and so far everybody's been really happy with their names. All right, I'm gonna scroll through some more fonts. So if you want to see what any of these fonts are, you can pause it, or you can slow down the playback speed and slow that down. So I'm scrolling through all my bookmarked fonts so you can see a bunch of them, and you can see how a bunch of them look since I'm clicking on different ones. Just not finding one that I really, really like for this. I'm also going to play around with the offset and play around with letter spacing until I find one that I really, really like. Every time I think I've got one that will work, I'm like, it just, they look okay, but it's just not standing out to me. See how some of that's touching now that I offset it, but I still, playing around with it, I'm just like, it looks okay, but I mean, that's cute, but just not doing it for me. This is my process. I will just go through font after font and play around with letter spacing, play around with the offsets until I really get one I like. See, there's some really pretty fonts. And you could definitely, change up the fonts and make each one of them look different if you were going to do several seniors. See, that one's cute too, but it's not. I feel like it was a little difficult to read the senior, what it was saying. See that? I think that's a little too offset. It's a little too thick. I'll delete that one. Duplicate it again. Because that was the one that I was like, iffy about, and so I wanted to save it. That's why I kept duplicating it. Now I'm trying it with small, instead of all caps, I took that off. Let's see how that looks. And that's the font I was telling you about, and that's the one I end up choosing, which I didn't even remember that, but it is one of my favorites. I've used it quite a bit. See, I like the way that looks. Something about it. I'm almost certain this is the one I end up with. So I really like that. Now my first thought was to weld it to the 25 in a couple of places so it cuts out together, and I may go make another one and have it do that. But what I'm going to end up doing is making it 3 different colors and making the senior a separate color, and my thought is that that would be cut out more than likely with HTV, glitter HTV, so that way I can iron it on. And but I'm sure it'll print out or cut out in glitter cardstock as well, but I'm thinking kind of put it over the 25 a little bit and then do that one. You can do the 25 either in glitter HTV or glitter cardstock with an offset, but put the senior kind of a little bit on top of the 25, and if you do HTV, it's gonna, you know, kind of meld into the 25. I may try it both ways and just see how it turns out. I'm sorry that we have a dehumidifier and it keeps just randomly going off really loud. And I'm going to play around with the contour as well. Now if this is like one of those senior mums where they want silver and white and gold and white, then I wouldn't be able to do the senior in a separate color, because then what color would you do for the background? But look how pretty that looks. So I did it in those colors. Oh, I guess I did it in 4 layers. But look how pretty that is, and look how the senior just really stands out. So I think I want to make some of those up, definitely, and maybe put them on my Etsy shop. Just play around with them. So hopefully that'll be a video upcoming. But this is the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it inspires you to create your own. Thank you so much for watching, and happy mum making, happy crafting, everyone. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Please be kind with your comments. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And I will catch you all on the next one. God bless.